Have you had a nose job? Why don't you share your boyfriend too much online? How much is an Hermes Birkin? For once, I'm starting the vlog saying good evening instead of good morning because it's nighttime and it's actually Halloween. I'm not dressed up, I'm not going anywhere. Although you might notice I'm not in my usual location. I am in a hotel and this bathroom is very echoey. I'm in a hotel in London just for the night, purely for the bathroom because I'm actually shooting some content and the bathrooms in this hotel are a joke, and my bathroom at home, it's not the worst, but it's not very big. There's no natural light, like it's not really a vibe. So I booked at the Kimpton Fitzroy. I've actually stayed here before. I showed you it in, like I showed you my room in a different vlog. I booked the same room again, but when I arrived, my room wasn't ready, so they upgraded me. And it was just by luck. This isn't like a PR thing or like gifted or anything like that. Like I booked it on Expedia, or was it booking.com? One of the two. Paid for it myself. Anyways, I turned up, the room wasn't ready. So they said, would you like to be upgraded? I mean, who's ever gonna say no to an upgrade? But the room is huge and I'm on my own. Let me give you a room tour. Okay, so this is the door here. So imagine I have just walked in, have a nice little table area. Over here, this is actually a joining door, like there's a room next door, but luckily it's locked. Look how tall the ceilings are and all the paneling. Then they actually gave me a pumpkin spiced cake, which was very nice, but I resisted. Well, I had a few mouthfuls, but then I stopped. A bottle of wine, bottle of red wine actually. Can't say I'll be drinking that. And then I have a whole living area. I wasn't joking when I told you guys it was big. The decor in here is so nice. This is very similar to how I would decorate my home if I had one. One day I will, but yes, I love the decor. And there's a big mirror over here, a fireplace with a TV. But look how nice everything is. It's so beautiful. And then if I come back to here, there are two really huge windows. And look up at all of the coving. Then back to the corridor area. And we're now in a dressing room. So I have a dressing table. Once again, really, really tall windows here. A full-length mirror. An area here for clothes, but I'm here for one night. So all I have is this. I have an event tomorrow. So that is all I brought with me. Then into the bedroom area, we have a 4-poster bed. I mean, wow, I've actually been laying in bed doing some work because I was cold and now I'm actually quite hot. Once again, paneling on the walls in here. We have a TV, chairs, just to show you from this angle how big the room is. Like guys, I'm gonna walk the full length of the room just to give you an idea how big this is. Like, what on earth is going on? To have a hotel room this size in London is unheard of. Now I've closed the doors for effect, but this is the bathroom. And I said this in a previous vlog. This floor is very squeaky. I said this in a previous vlog, but this is exactly how I would have my bathroom once I finally get a house. Guys, perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Let me come up here. So it's a double sink. Look how high, I've said it about every room. I mean, the ceilings are the same height everywhere, but look how high the ceilings are. So double mirrors, double sink, of course, I've made it a mess already. Let's just ignore my makeup there. In here is the shower. There is the toilet. The floor, I even just love the floor. Like, it's marble, the gold taps on the sink. And if I stand in the toilet area, this is what it looks like from here. Look at this bath. Like, tell me now this isn't the most beautiful bathroom of all time. And also inside the shower. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's even got a seat. Like, who needs a seat in a shower? But I mean, I'll take it, like, it's great. I'm gonna be honest, I had no intentions of vlogging tonight, but I've been here since 3 p.m. and it is currently 7:45. I got here early because I had some work to do and I wanted just to kind of like utilize the space. But it's been dark all day practically. The weather has been so rubbish and it was just too dark to film in here. So I walked to Tesco's, got a water, sat here and thought I'm gonna be very lonely and very bored tonight. Who could I speak to? And I decided it was gonna be you. So I feel like this could turn into a little 24-hour vlog. But before we carry on, I need to order some food. I've just looked at the room service menu. I mean, like, who doesn't love room service? A watermelon and feta salad. And a portion of fries. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, bye. I have never been so excited to eat in all my life. I mean, maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but I feel like I've been waiting for this for a very long time. I have my Caesar salad. Looks okay. The anchovies look very anchovy. I'm glad I also got the feta and watermelon salad because I can't lie, none of this is that big, but it all looks very nice. And it also got some chips. Really good. They're like McDonald's chips. My idea was I was going to sit here and talk to you whilst I ate, but that's just kind of like, how am I going to talk with my mouth full? It's just kind of a bit rude. So give me 5 minutes. I'm going to eat this and I'm going to come back. Well, that was delicious. I feel like I over-ordered though. I felt like it didn't look like it was that much food, but when I started eating it, it was a lot, but I ate it all. I feel like I'm having another issue with my hands looking so brown and my face looking so pale. Like, it always looks like this on camera, but it's not really like it in real life. Like, in real life, they just look like nicely tanned. On here, I'm looking like an Oompa Loompa. I think I want to do a little Q&A, guys. Last time I was in this hotel, I actually did a Q&A. But I want to do a little bit more of an in-depth one. I've asked on Instagram. I'm annoyed I can't ask you in real time for questions. But, like, if I was to ask you questions now, I wouldn't be able to answer them until the next vlog, and I'm never that organised. But I've asked everyone on Instagram to ask me questions, and hopefully these will be kind of similar questions to the ones that you would have for me. Okay, let's start off with a handbag related question. Not too deep, let's kind of ease ourselves in. So the first question is, do you think your following helped get a quota bag or potentially your profile spend? So this person is talking about getting a Birkin or a Kelly. So my following, definitely not. I just went in and put my name down. They don't ask you what your job is, anything like that. And so I don't think my online following helped at all. In terms of profile spend, I don't really know the answer to that. I feel like you hear so many different opinions online. Like, some people say you need to buy furniture, you need to buy clothes, you need to spend thousands of pounds, and other people are like, it's just kind of luck. I kind of lean towards the fact that it's just kind of luck. Like, I have friends that have bought 2 pairs of Oran sandals and they got offered a Birkin. I personally have bought quite a few pairs of Oran sandals only because I liked them, for no other reason other than the fact that I like them. I bought 2 Kelly belts, I bought my Her bag, my Picotin, but I never bought furniture, I never bought clothes. So I mean, if I was to give you any advice, I think it helps a little bit, but I don't think it's the be all and end all having like a huge profile with thousands of pounds spent on it. But that's just my experience, my opinion, and I am not an Hermes expert. Tell us your dream 3-course meal. I love this question, guys, and I know exactly what my dream meal is down to a T. And it's not all fancy. Like, don't get me wrong, I like sushi, I like all types of food, but when it comes to my favorite food, it's this. So a whole camembert, garlic in the middle, hot crusty bread, butter, and a red onion chutney. That would be my starter. The main course, imagine like a Christmas dinner, roast dinner. So all the trimmings, we're talking crispy roast potatoes, gravy, stuffing, cauliflower cheese, cabbage, parsnips, carrots, you know, the sprouts with the chestnuts, love that. But instead of cut meat, I would have a chicken pie. That's my dream, with lashings of cranberry sauce. Dessert is the one that I struggle with because there's so many desserts that I like. I love a sticky toffee pudding, but I think my all-time favorite dessert is cheesecake, but the one from my parents' restaurant. It's homemade, it's delicious, they change up the flavors. My personal favorite one is Oreo or lime. Actually, I love a lime cheesecake. It's just delicious, but it needs to be served with ice cream and cream. And I would wash it all down with orange Fanta. I feel like most people say like some special wine, but I just love orange Fanta, you know? That is my absolute favorite drink in the world, and that is my dream meal. Lots of you asking about my house situation. Have I bought a house? Like, how I've been looking, and I wish I could come to you with better news about this or like more of an update, but there is no update, guys. I feel like the market is the worst it's ever been. I look daily, I have all of the little notification things on, so if a house comes up in my criteria, I get an email, but there is just nothing, like literally nothing. But I'm not trying to stress about it. I truly believe that when the time is right, I will find the perfect house, and in the meantime, it's just not meant to be right now. However, I do need to be moved by February. So I need to start thinking about where I'm going to move to, where I'm gonna live, because February is gonna be here before I know it. And I think something I really know is the fact that I don't wanna stay where I am any longer. I've been there nearly 3 years. It's gone so quickly. And although I love it there, it's just time to move on. But where to, I'm unsure. I mean, you never know. there's still time for me to find a house in that time, but like, you know, it's a long process. Do you want to get married? I feel like I've answered this before, and I'm sure my answer will still be pretty much the same. It's just not something I really ever thought about. Like, I am not the girl that dreams of their wedding day, put it that way. I feel like it's a lot of expense for like just like one day, you know? I mean, I'm not saying I won't ever get married. Like, it would be lovely to have a big diamond ring on my finger, and it would also be really nice to share the same surname as like my husband. So if we're going to have children, like our children will have the same surname. But yeah, like, I don't dream of like a big white wedding, and I mean, it'd be nice to have all your family together for a day. And don't get me wrong, I love a wedding. Like, when my friends have got married, it's been a great time, but I'm just not in a rush, and I've never really kind of like dreamt about it, should I say. How often and in which areas of your face do you get Botox? I need Botox so bad right now. I'm actually booked in 2 weeks time, and I cannot wait. Look how much I can frown and lift my eyebrows. I've not been able to lift my eyebrows and frown this much since I was 23. That was a long time ago. So I get Botox in my frown line, in my forehead, in my crow's feet, and also in my, this is called masseters. It's the muscle in my jaw. Truthfully, I bloody love Botox. I just wish it lasted longer. But I feel like if it's done properly and subtly, it can look really nice, and my makeup just goes on so much nicer when I've had Botox. And I hate this frown line. And I also have an eyebrow, this eyebrow here, that when I smile kind of raises a little bit, and I like to have Botox in it to kind of relax it so it doesn't raise up when I smile. I mean, this is all very vain, but if I had to choose out of Botox or fillers, I would definitely choose Botox. But by the way, I'm not saying you should go and get it done, but if you do your research and go to a good aesthetics doctor. Dream trip on your bucket list. I think it has to be the Maldives. I've always wanted to go there. It just looks insane. So I think that would be number one. I would also really like to go to Mauritius, and I would love, 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 love to go back to Bali. I went to Bali in, I think it was 2018, and it's still to this day one of the best places I have ever been. Actually, I'll tell you the best place I've ever been, and this is going to be really sad because I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I think the best place I've ever been is Dubai. Like, I just love Dubai. I love how clean it is, how safe it is. The service out there is just the best in the world. You all know how much I love it because I bang on about it all of the time. So Dubai for me is number one, but number two would be Bali. They're so different, like so worlds apart, but I absolutely loved Bali. My camera is overheating. Sorry guys, I've had to move you slightly because my camera is not just overheating, it's about to die. So I've had to move you near a plug, so you're currently on charge at the same time as filming. Anyway, next question. What is next on your never-ending luxury wish list? Well, for once, I want to say there's nothing too major, and I mean, that's probably a lie. I think next, I'd really, really, really love a nice sized tennis bracelet. I think I've said that to you guys before. Like, I'd love a yellow gold tennis bracelet, like with quite nice sized diamonds, you know. I would also, I love the Bulgari Serpentine bracelet, like stunning. I'm obsessed. I'd also really love an Hermes Kelly. I'd love a Kelly 25, I think in the color gold, but I'd also love a mini Kelly, either in gold or like a pop of color. Like, I'd really love a pink mini Kelly. Nothing too major, and there's nothing like I'm absolutely desperate for, you know, other than a house. Why don't you share your boyfriend too much online? Why doesn't he speak? This is really funny. Truthfully, it's more his choice than mine. Well, it's kind of both our choice. Like, this has always been like my channel, my thing. But of course, when he started dating me, he knew what I did for work, but it was never going to become like a couples channel or anything like that. He also has always worked in a very corporate environment, and I feel like when you work in an environment like that, you don't really want your personal life online because then your colleagues watch it and it's just a bit embarrassing. And he just likes his private life. He likes to keep himself to himself, and I completely respect that. At the same time, he's super supportive of what I do. I obviously vlog when I'm with him. He will help me take photos when I need him to. It's just his work life is completely different to mine. But he has had a few of you come up to him when he's been out, like, you know, just in like random places. I think one time it was in Starbucks, and another time was in a restaurant in Beckenham. Yeah, and you've said, oh, like, you're Freya's boyfriend. And he's not like a shy person, but he's a very introverted person. So like, I can't imagine like how he'd have been in that situation. But he found that pretty cool. And there's been a few occasions where I have met you guys whilst I've been out with him, and yeah, he's absolutely fine with it. As I've said, he's supportive in what I do, but he is not going to become a YouTuber tomorrow, put it that way. Do you believe in people having plastic surgery? I mean, truthfully, I just think let people do what they want to do. Like, let people live. If it's going to make them happy or it's going to make them more confident, let them do it, you know? I just think all I would ever say is don't go and get things done cheaply. Do your research. Make sure that your surgeon is brilliant, because at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your health, and that is the most important thing we have in life. So yeah, if you're going to do anything, make sure it's done properly. But I have absolutely no opinions on people getting stuff done, because, you know, each to their own. And actually, on a very similar topic, and I do actually get this question quite a lot, and I've never ever ever spoken about it, but someone here has asked, have you had a nose job? And I think you're all going to be very shocked to hear me say yes, I have, but it was a very long time ago. I had rhinoplasty, nose job, whichever you'd like to call it, about 8 years ago. Was it 8 years ago? Yeah, I think I was like 22 or 23, and I've never publicly spoken about it. I've told people, like, I definitely tell people, it's not a secret, you know, all my friends know about it, but it wasn't anything I put online because I didn't have like an online presence when I had my nose done. So I feel like I could do a whole video on this, but I also don't really want to, so I feel like I'm just gonna like talk about it here. But there's also like a lot to be said about it. But from a very young age, hate is such a strong word, and you should never speak about yourself like that, but I really did hate my nose. It was something I was really insecure about, and it definitely knocked my confidence. Looking back, like, my nose wasn't even that bad, if I'm honest, but it was just something that made me like a little bit insecure. And I kind of joked through school, and bearing in mind that plastic surgery in those days was not common at all. It was only like celebrities had it done. But I used to joke through school, like, I'm gonna get a nose job, I'm gonna get a nose job. And then I think I was about 19 or 20, that kind of age. And I then really seriously at that point said to my mum and dad, I want to get a nose job and I'm going to get it done. And they were like, obviously, like, parents are like, you're beautiful how you are, like, blah, blah. And I was like, no, seriously, like, it's something I really want to do, and I'm gonna find a surgeon. But I could never find a good surgeon. And in those days, it wasn't as easy to find people because there was Instagram, but not like it is today. It was just, you know, you go on that, like, is it like Real Health or Real Self or something like that? I used to go on those forums and look at people. I never really found anyone. But then one of my friends also wanted a nose job around the same kind of time. And she found this guy who actually performs the surgeries, I don't know if he still does, but he did, on botched bodies. He obviously didn't do the botching, he did the reconstructive surgery. So as soon as I found him, he looked amazing. I'm sorry, my camera keeps overheating and it's driving me mad. I've forgotten where I was, but I think we was at the park where I'd found this amazing surgeon. I booked a consultation, and then I went on the train to London with my mum, because the surgeon is based in London. Had my consultation, it went amazing, and I just knew I was gonna go with him for the surgery. I wanted to book the surgery the next day. Like, by the time I'd met him, like, I knew I wanted to go through with it 100%. But his waiting list was huge, which is a good sign, by the way. If a surgeon is good, they should have a bit of a waiting list. But 8 months was a really long time. But I went on to another list that was also for people that could be flexible. So if there was any cancellations, I would be up for taking one of the cancellations. And he did get a cancellation. So I think I had my operation in the end about 4 or 5 months later. My mum and I came up to London multiple times. During that time, you know, you have to come up for like photographs and then a pre-op consultation, and I can't even remember what else, but when we used to come up, we used to then have little days out. So we'd go for like afternoon tea, we'd go and watch a show. Like, it was actually really great times. And my parents, like everything in my life, were so supportive. And at the time, I had no money, like absolutely no money. I couldn't afford to get it done. So my parents actually loaned me the money, and it was £8,000, guys. And this was 8 years ago. Like, we're talking a long time ago. Was it 8,000 or was it 6? No, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was £8,000. I paid every single penny of it back. I set up a direct debit to my mum. I paid it off in, it was a really short amount of time. Well, it like was over a year, but you know, it was a pretty short amount of time. So on the day of my surgery, we came up to London, and I remember this so well, and we'd spoken about exactly what it was I wanted and like what I wanted it to look like, and I'd seen the photos, and then they like sort of change it to kind of show you how you'd look after you get your nose done or whatever. And I actually have a little bump in my nose. It's only tiny, but I definitely do have a bump there. But my main concern with my nose was actually the tip of my nose. It wasn't the bump. The bump never bothered me because I hated the tip of my nose so much. I'm really going into detail here. Oh my God, I've never spoken about this before. But the surgeon kept saying to me, it wasn't in a pushy way. He just kept asking, are you sure you don't want to get rid of the bump in your nose? And I was like, no, the bump doesn't bother me. The bump doesn't bother me. And in those days, like, I didn't know anyone that had a nose job. It wasn't as common to have surgery. And I just didn't want anyone to look at me and think, wow, she's had a nose job. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, I just didn't want that for myself. And I remember even when I was going down into theatre, he said to me one more time, are you sure about the bump in your nose? And I said, I'm sure, like, leave it. And I think that is one of my only regrets, because I mean, it's actually quite sad to say it, because at the time I didn't want to be perfect. I just wanted my nose to be a better version of my own. I wanted just to get rid of the things that I hated about it, but just be me, but just like slightly adapted. And that's exactly what I got. But now, like 7 or 8 years down the line, however long it is, I wish I'd got rid of the bump. And that's sad. And I think it's just because society nowadays, like, you know, everyone's like so perfect and nose jobs are obviously a lot more common. I kind of wish I'd had the bump removed. But at the same time, I also have zero regrets. Getting my nose done was one of the best things I ever did. Probably in the top 3 of the best things I ever did. But the only thing I would say is, if you are thinking about getting anything done, like I said previously about surgery in general, make sure you do your research. Do not go and get something done cheaply, because, you know, it's your body, it's your face, it's your health. You should like really think long and hard about it. And also I think as well, even though I'm saying like I wish I'd had the bump taken out and all the rest of it, I think don't strive for perfection. Just try and, if you want to of course, just like improve little things and don't try and look like a different person. But anyway, I've never spoken about that before, and it's not some big secret, so it's like no real big deal. But yeah, and I'm not embarrassed about it. Like, I literally don't care. The only reason I've never spoken about it is because I had it done way before my YouTube and Instagram life, and it wasn't anything to speak about, like, you know. But I do actually get people ask me from time to time, but sometimes I think it's because it's looked different even in the time I've been online, because I think when I was first online, it was still a bit swollen, you know. And even though that was like 2 years on, or like however long it was on, it must have been like 2 years on, I feel like it does look different now. So yeah, I don't blame people for thinking it, because I used to get more questions back then as well. But yeah, it's funny, I still get the odd question here and there. Oh, and by the way, other than filler and Botox, my nose job is the only thing I've ever had done. I have nothing against anything else. Like, you know, maybe I'd like a bit of lipo, maybe a boob job one day, but at the moment that is the only thing I've had done. Why do you not do fashion weeks? Like, this is actually a good question. I think truthfully, like, it's just not something I've ever really wanted to do. Like, it's not on my goal list. It's not somewhere I'd really want to be. I think that I'm such a classic dresser. Like, I like to wear really timeless, I say this all the time, like timeless and classic clothes. I feel like fashion week is a lot of trend, it's like trend led, and I just don't really think that's me. And I look at the outfits, people look incredible in the outfits, and I love following along with like my favorite influencers when they go to fashion week. But for me, it's just not really me. Truthfully, I did actually get invited to a show in Paris this last fashion week just gone, but I decided not to go. It just, yeah, it's just not really my thing, you know. I mean, never say never. Maybe one day I should do it, but it's just not really for me. Now, this is a question I've gotten so much just recently. And this person here is asking, if you don't mind me asking, how much is an Hermes Birkin? I would love to know if I could afford one. I have no idea how much they are from the store. Now, the reason I never speak about this kind of stuff is because I think when you talk about prices, people think you're kind of boasting. But something I like to be online is informative. I love to help you guys out. And I feel like I should talk about prices because it is informative. And obviously Hermes don't have their prices on the websites. You can't just, well, they do have their prices for some things, but not for Birkins and Kellys. Truthfully, I don't even know how much a Kelly costs. I think it's less than a Birkin, but I could be wrong with that one. I genuinely don't know. But a Birkin 25 from an Hermes store in the UK costs around £7,850, which is basically £1,000 less than a Chanel medium classic flat, which is insane because the quality is 100 times better. This is the thing with Birkins, okay? I think people think they're so much more money because you're looking at how much they are resale. Resale Birkins can go for like, you know, I mean, 25, 28,000 pounds. And the reason that is because they're hard to get hold of. You have to go on waiting lists, you know, you have to jump through hoops in order to buy them. And that's why they're just rarer, they're harder to get hold of, and that is why they cost so much money resale, but the retail price is actually far less. And I don't think many people know that. Do you have a lot of friends? I mean, a lot of good friends. Okay, interesting question, interesting question. I can quite honestly say, yes, I do. And I'm so extremely lucky for that. Do you know what? I think the reason I have so many friends is because I was single for such a long time in my life. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to be single in order to have friends. But when you are single, you need your friends because like you don't have anyone else. Of course you have your family and things, but on Sundays and on the weekends, you're just with your mates all the time, you know. And I was single from basically the age of like 19, 20 until I met my partner when I was 28. So a really long time. And so I have so many girlfriends and different groups of girlfriends as well. So I have my college friends. Actually, I have my school friends. I'm still friends with, like, my best friends are my friends from school. I then have college friends, so the girls I went to dance college with. I then have friends from my industry that I work in. And I also have another group of girlfriends. They're all a little bit older than me, but I grew up with them all because all of our mums are best friends. So I often go on trips with them and like lots of nights out. And I definitely, out of all those people, have 3 friends, because everyone is like my friends, you know, but I have 3 friends out of all of them who are like my best friends. They know pretty much everything about me. I could tell them my deepest, darkest secrets, whatever they are. And I trust them so much, and I hope they trust me just as much, you know. Okay, last question, because I have been talking for what feels like hours. I feel like I need to find a good one. This could be quite good. I tried to answer questions I haven't answered before, and also answer questions a little bit more personal and things that I sometimes wonder about people, you know. So here it says, do you come from money? So I feel like this can't be just a straight like yes or no answer, because I definitely came from a very comfortable background, but only because my parents worked their asses off, and I'm so grateful for them. But I personally, like, I've never been sort of like handed anything. Like, I've never been given like a lump of money. I've never been helped out like moving out or with like my rent, or nor should I, by the way, like absolutely nor should I. My parents paid for things like my driving lessons, which is so lucky. But then like my first car, I got it on finance. I paid for it all myself. The only money I've ever had from them since I started working, and I got my first ever job around the age of 14, 15. It was a little Sunday shift, you know. But since then, the only money I believe I've ever loaned from them was for my nose. The £8,000 I loaned, which I paid back, as I've already mentioned, fully. And the only other thing, my mum and dad might not agree with this. They're probably gonna say, yeah, I gave you petrol money this one time, or like whatever. But the only things I can really think of was when I decided I wanted to start YouTube, and the camera I wanted was £700. And my dad, bless him, bought me the camera, and I said, as soon as I've made enough money, I'll pay you back. And I made the money, and I gave him the money, and he said, keep it and reinvest it into something else you need. So I put that money towards my first ever MacBook laptop, which is what I edited all my videos on. Yeah, I am so lucky that my parents have been as generous as they are. But at the same time, I've always been taught that if I want anything in life, I need to go out and work for it. It's not going to be handed to me on a plate. I was never bought designer things or anything like that. The only thing my mum's ever bought for me, I sound like I'm saying this, I'm like, actually, but it's not actually true. Like, I'm being completely honest here. For Christmas one year, my mum bought me a Mulberry handbag, and still to this day, I cannot believe she did that. I still don't think she could believe she did. She must have had a few drinks. She got it, I think she got it at the 20% off night that Phoenix do. And I think she'd had a few champagnes, you know? But no, my mum has always been so generous. Yes, she bought me a bag, but other than that, like, I never got any designer stuff from them. My mum and dad aren't into designer stuff, so, you know, they never bought us anything like that as kids. We lived a really lovely life. We went on really great holidays. But my parents worked so much, and for a lot of the time they were quite absent because they were working in order for us to have a nice life and live in a nice home and things like that. But yeah, everything else in life I've always just been taught if I want it, I'm gonna have to go out and work for it. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else at all. I feel like a lot of you ask questions that I've answered a lot, like how did I get into influencing? I feel like if you've been here for a while, you all know that story, so I don't really want to repeat myself. People asking about children, and I feel like I've said many times, I definitely do want kids, but I'm not ready for them just yet. A lot of you asking about my house. A lot of people asking how old I am. I feel like most of you know that. I am 30, I was 30 this year. I feel like I've actually answered loads. Like I dread to think how, I'm trying to look at how long I've been recording. It's a really long time. But anyway guys, I'm gonna take my makeup off and I'm gonna go to bed. You know, I'm gonna try and have an early night. So I will see you in the morning. Good morning guys. This bathroom is so echoey. I have been up since 6 a.m. It's nearly 12 p.m. Got all my work done. I had a really successful shoot today with Molly. I didn't film any of it just because we needed to crack on. I've just got myself all ready because I'm actually going to a very exciting event today with Tory Burch, and we're having afternoon tea at Claridge's. How bougie is that? Afternoon tea is actually one of my favourite things to eat and do ever. I have actually had afternoon tea at Claridge's before with my family. I'm very much looking forward to this. So I thought I would show you my outfit of the day. So you can't see my trousers, but they are from Massimo Dutti. Then my jumper is actually the same jumper you saw me wear in my Hermes unboxing. I've actually worn this 3 times. It's from an Instagram brand called Amelda. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I'll link it down below. It's such gorgeous quality and I really like it. It's all very oversized, but I'm wearing heels, so it will kind of elongate me a little bit. For my earrings, I'm gonna do my Amazon Bottega dupe, and they're actually really light, so they don't hurt my ears, so they don't weigh my ears down. For perfumes, we're doing Parfums de Marly Delina. My favourite. I love this so much. For shoes, I'm gonna do my Gucci sling bags. Have I already told you this? I can't remember, but I ummed and ahed about keeping these. Yeah, I did tell you, because I told you when I unboxed my Gucci bag. Ummed and ahed about keeping these heels. Decided to keep them, and I'm so glad I did. I love them so much, and they're so comfy. And they're perfect for days like today, where a stiletto is too dressy, but a flat is almost too casual, and they just give me a little bit of height. And yeah, I really like them. And for my bag, it's gonna have its first outing, but it's actually raining. So the rain needs to stop because this cannot get wet. I'm gonna use my new Birkin 25 in the colour Etude, which goes so perfectly with this outfit. You can't see this outfit full length in here, but I'm going to show you in the full length mirror before we leave. Hi guys, I've just finished editing this. I want to call it a vlog, but it's not really been a vlog. It's basically been a Q&A in a hotel room. I didn't take you to Claridge's because it ended up being a very busy day and I didn't get my camera out, and I can only apologise. But I hope so much you've enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one, which I promise will be a proper vlog. Lots of love guys. Have a good week. Take care. Bye bye.